Let's pray. Precious Son and Father, just thank you for this day, Lord. Ask that you give us guidance, you give us wisdom, that you will amply give as you ask, according to your scripture, Lord. Pray that you would bless our town, bless those that are here, Lord, that we would have open hearts and open minds, Lord, that we would come away here in agreement, Lord, in your will, and that we would do things that are glorifying to your name. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Now join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, the first item on the agenda is a statement to be read by the Alderman.
I'll be reading this statement. Can everyone hear me well? All right. The city of Petal, Mississippi, and the community surrounding have grown to be a place where individuals of all walks, backgrounds, and beliefs are valued, supported, and celebrated. It is our goal to continue to embrace our diverse community and prosper. The strides made thus far in our community have been great. Petal has become a hometown destination to many due to our excellent school district, safe way of life, and community support for one another. Recently, Mayor Hal Marks has taken to social media and repeatedly made comments that have isolated, enraged, and belittled individuals in a way that is unbecoming of our city. Furthermore, these remarks have alienated certain groups of our population, which is counterproductive to our diverse community. Over the past few days, the vast number of our constituents who have reached out to us, showing their disapproval and disdain, have made it obvious that we can no longer accept this reality. Based on Hal Marks' continued distasteful remarks, the Board of Aldermen feels that he is out of touch with the citizens and unfit to continue in his capacity as mayor. It is unacceptable for a leader in our community to make these remarks with little or no thought to the effects they will have on the very people in which he or she leads. Hal Marks' comments are not an embodiment of the values that the city of Petal stands for. As strongly as the Board of Aldermen feels about this matter, however, the Mississippi state law fails us in that the Board of Aldermen has no authority to remove a mayor from his position, nor do the citizens through a recall election. We as a board do promise, however, to take every action available to us to ensure that Hal Marks' future as a leader in the city of Petal is limited. You must.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm going to respond to that. My wife always gives me advice to stay off social media and watch what I say. And it's like so much other things. If I had listened to her on a lot of stuff, probably wouldn't have had some problems.
Breathe and talk at the same time.
Okay, like I said, we don't have order in here, or else we can clear out the room. Okay. So, my point in what I said in those social media comments that's in question was that I've always been a big supporter of the police.
How can you justify this shit still, man?
Okay, like I said, I'm trying to make a statement. Okay.
Let them talk. Let them talk. Let them finish.
And my thought at the time was not, I didn't think through what I said as far as including some sympathy for Mr. Floyd and his family.
This is not the first time, though. I am a Petal resident, and
Ma'am,
I
if
have
you let
stood
me
here
be able to
and
talk,
included.
please.
I have blocked you on Facebook because you have made several comments. I'm Hispanic. Yes, I'm a Mexican. I am one of those minorities. So you have really.
Do you want to hear from me or not?
Yeah, go ahead, but this is not the first time. So
Okay.
this is what we're saying. This is not the first time.
Well,
So go ahead.
my point being that what I said came out in a way that I wish I had said it differently. It wasn't to minimize that gentleman's death. It was simply an impulsive statement saying that I hope that people will wait for all the answers to get out before we condemn.
There's a fucking
Hey,
Show civility.
There are some Christians, there's some preachers in here.
I know some preachers different than you.
Still don't have to talk that way.
Either way, go ahead and keep going.
Well, my point being, I'll just say this. In my role as mayor, I've always treated everyone equally. When it comes to help,
Hey, Mayor, I got a question for you though. I'm from Hattiesburg. I stay in Oak Grove. And this is what I want to know. When I got the word of it and what you had said. I want to know what justified a man putting his knee on it when he was in handcuffs.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? If he got handcuffs already.
and my point on what I tried to say was, I spoke impulsively before I really looked at the whole picture.
You be quiet.
And
You too.
my point was simply to say that in situations like this, a lot of times there's a rush to judgment on things where things turn out to be differently than what they appear. That's my point. Nothing that I said in my mind was anything racial or
Baked into your body. Your body is imbued with racism.
Real quick if I could.
Will we have a chance to speak?
Absolutely. Let me say something. We're gonna let you all have public comment on the meeting. I appreciate what you're saying. We hear you. Let us say that. We the Board of Aldermen hear you.
Just want to make sure we can speak too.
What we called this meeting tonight for is to address all of these issues in which our mayor says things off the cuff or that he doesn't mean or anything.
Ask him to resign.
That said, ma'am, that's on step number 2. We got to get through this part. Yes, ma'am. The second state on the agenda is to ask for the mayor to resign. We're going to get there. But the whole point of this meeting is for the exact conversation that's happening. This beautiful dialogue that is finally able to happen right here is the meaning of this meeting. This Board of Aldermen realizes, as I said in my statement, that our mayor is so far out of touch with what the people feel and see and hear and believe and are living that we don't feel he adequately represents us any further. So I understand your frustration. You guys want to speak. Hey, we're going to give you an opportunity. In fact, just hang with us. Let's get through Mayor Mark's response here as to his justification for the statement, and then we will move on to the next order of business. One of those orders is going to be a public comment. One of those orders is going to be request that resignation. So that's probably a failure on our job to inform you guys of exactly how this is going to be laid out. But let him speak. Let's get through that and move on to the next few orders of business, please. Thank you.
Well, I realize a lot of people have already got their minds made up about what kind of person I am. So I'm not going to try to convince you that I'm not that person, because you're not going to believe it. But I know the people who really know me know what's in my heart. And they know that I've always tried to speak up for people of every group that falls in our city. And I go back to when I was at USM. And there was a young man that I met that was named Derek Hobson. Delta. He was going to USM. He happened to be African American.
I got a black friend too, man.
He wanted to run for student body president at USM, and I became his campaign manager. And I was proud to help him to get elected the first African American student body president at USM.
What about black people that don't go to college?
Okay.
What do you think of them?
You know what? And this is what I'm going to say here. Okay. What I have tried to apologize and tried to clarify. You do not want to hear it.
Are you wrong? Were you wrong for saying it? That's what the people want to know.
What I would
Were
like
you
to know
wrong?
from the alderman is I would like them to point out any particular thing that I said that is racist or that is cross the line.
You make national news, sir. You make
Yes, ma'am.
national news.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And a lot of what is being
The
spread
media, right?
is
The
people
media
taking
made it
their interpretation of what I said and spreading that instead of what I actually said. But anyway, I've said enough because you're not listening to me. I'll try to.
Were you
Let
wrong?
you know it's in the heart, but you don't want to hear that, so I'm not going to keep going
Okay,
on.
folks, let's move along.
All right, next is request for resignation. I guess I can answer that.
We're gonna let them speak first.
We're gonna follow through with our 5 things on the agenda, and then at the end of the meeting, before anybody goes, we'll stay as long as you guys want and have a public comment session.
Okay. Well, I can just tell you, I declined the request for resignation. I don't feel that I have done anything.
Like you said, you're gonna go live on
Didn't do nothing wrong.
And I was elected 3 times, twice. I was reelected after people already knew my stance on a lot of issues. So when you talk about me being out of the mainstream, I was actually reelected
So maybe that is a reflection on
twice, even though I was already vocal about my opinions on a lot of things. So I was elected for a term that ends July 1st, 2021, and I'm going to serve until July 1st, 2021. So that part's over with. Now y'all can move on to the next part.
career is over with.
All right, let's move ahead, folks.
Do we
All right, the next is request to reduce the salary of the mayor effective immediately.
motion and second on the number 2?
Yes, let's go back and get a motion. I make the motion to request the resignation from Mayor Hal Marks.
I'll second.
The comment was that Mayor Marks declined to resign at this time. Do we need to vote? All in favor? Hal, would you like to ask for all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so now request to reduce salary of the mayor.
Motion for discussion?
Second.
All right,
Before y'all start discussing, I would prefer that we either get a Attorney General's opinion or we discuss this personnel matter in executive session. But really, I think that we need Attorney General opinion.
and I actually.
What's your legal grounds?
I actually have my attorney.
What's your legal grounds for that?
Mayor asked me to represent him on that issue, and I would agree that it should be an executive session. I also
On what
would
grounds?
take the position
Personnel matters.
that there's no
They're all in
basis,
executive session.
in my opinion, after having viewed the Attorney General opinions that exist, and also the extensive number of federal cases that deal with the question of free speech, and however you want to handle it. But I would take the position that the mayor, free speech only becomes an issue when somebody says something that isn't popular.
What about the free speech
Let me finish.
votes?
It's ill-founded, or maybe something stupid. But anyways, but there's a serious issue, a legal issue, regarding fining someone, which essentially, if you reduce someone's salary, that's what you do. If you're gonna fine someone for something they said, and you're gonna fine them $1, or you're gonna fine them $60,000, or, so I think it's a serious issue, a legal issue. Aside from whatever you feel about what the mayor said, and I told the mayor how I feel about what he said. But that's my position. That's why I'm here to bring to the forefront that if you're going to go down this avenue, that it's going to be it's an avenue that has potential conflict with, several cases, Pickering versus Board of Education, New York Times versus Sullivan, etc. And
So you're
that's why
saying
I'm
that
here.
he's gonna file suit against the city?
I'm saying, what I'm saying is, let me answer your question, it's a good question. I'm saying that this is he makes a statement. And then the question is, does this Petal board, do they have the authority to fine him for a statement he made? Because that's what you're doing to somebody. You're taking away his salary.
Can you stop? We can
You're not finding it.
Who's your lawyer?
That's not, is that a fine that you guys are posting? Or is it asking to be, is his wages be?
Hey, folks,
Hold on,
a matter of
let's move
order.
on. I'd like to make a motion that we table this, and the motion would be that, for the benefit of the citizens, so we would be on more legal ground, that you would request a ruling from the AG on this matter. I think that wouldn't take terribly long, being I believe there's some complete information on these type of opinions in the past, so I would make a motion that we table that.
Tony, we had a motion on the floor. I think Craig would probably need to
I
change
can remove it.
Yeah, well, I'll echo what Tony said to change that motion.
Okay, and my comment on that too would be, at this point in time, I have 12 months left on my term. You're going to risk spending countless thousands of dollars in court and then possibly pay my legal fees to try to make a point. To try to make a point
Wow.
that I believe you probably already made sufficiently for what your purpose is here. So,
Mr. Adams,
So I would change my second as well.
would you mind sending your authorities that you've mentioned tonight?
Sure, I'll get them to you tomorrow.
That'd be fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
all right, is there a vote on that table? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, resolution to censure the mayor.
Motion.
Second.
All right, and I'd like to know exactly what comments you're censuring me for.
Twitter, Facebook, which one?
I've been in this town for 51 years, and since they're talking about comments, on your page, you have a picture of Hitler, when you cut out Hitler's face.
I have a picture of Hitler on my page.
Well, his hair hair marks, you and
No, people made that to make fun of me is what they did, and I'm sorry.
Okay, that's what I just heard. But, the other one that you made was about, you celebrated George Zimmerman. Yeah, last week. Did you not do that?
At that point in time,
He was a good guy
at
then.
that point in time, I felt that was the right verdict.
Hey, folks, if I could, one more time, let's move this along in the order, then we'll come back to it.
That was 7 years ago.
Yep, I'm gonna read this issue, yes ma'am. So we have a resolution of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Petal, Mississippi, censoring the mayor. Whereas Mayor Hal Marks' comments on social media and traditional media on May 26, 2020 and May 27, 2020, regarding his opinions concerning the death of George Floyd were not appropriate. Whereas citizens and the Board of Aldermen expect a return to civility, respect, trust, and productivity at City Hall. Whereas Mayor Hal Marks' comments have created a hostile environment within and without the City of Petal, so that the Board of Aldermen no longer have confidence in him. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Petal, the Board of Aldermen have lost confidence in Mayor Marks. Number 2, the Board of Aldermen hereby censure the mayor for conduct described above, putting the City of Petal at risk of harm and creating a hostile environment. Number 3, Mayor Marks is directed to refrain from making public comments regarding George Floyd and other issues which have no relevance to the City of Petal in his capacity as mayor or on behalf of the City of Petal. The Board of Aldermen asks that Mayor Marks correctly carry out the duties of mayor, adhere to city ordinances and common courtesy, work effectively as a member of the Petal City government, and work with the board to take action on board priorities. Number 5, if Mayor Marks cannot or does not take such corrective actions to carry out the duties of a mayor as a functional member of the Petal City government, the Board of Aldermen asks that Mayor Marks resign from office. And then number 6 will be that the resolution is effective upon passage, assuming it passes here, and the legalese at the bottom there, along with certification from the city clerk. And Melissa, I will get you both a copy of our statement and this resolution of censure for the minutes.
Okay, and my question is, when have I not fulfilled the duties of the mayor or worked with the board on anything?
What we got next? Bro, you rolled in here, man.
I mean, I'd just like to know. I'd like to know, you make an accusation. I'd like to know. You don't agree with my opinion on some things, but yet you also say, I need to work with the board And basically, you're saying that I work for you. No, I work for the people of Petal. And I'm elected just like I'm elected just like you are. I'm elected just like you are. And I have the right, whether I say something right or wrong, to speak for myself and to voice my opinion. Now, I'd like to know in your censure, what have I done that did not work with you or fulfill my duties as mayor? That would be a valid question to ask.
Refusing to get down.
Your racist comments, all of your comments that you make on Facebook that are belittling to other people that live in this town.
Let me tell you about some comments that I've been getting.
I
Let me just say this. No, ma'am. We live in the United States of America. We live in the United States of America. And nobody should be bullied for their opinion. Nobody should be threatened for their opinion. Nobody should
You bullied us in high school. You want
y'all want to stand with Antifa and that mob mentality of trying to bully people into.
You mean protect the protesters from the police?
Orthodoxy they have. Then that's what people know. Okay? Because you can't point to a single time I have not done my job as mayor. What about the time at 2 o'clock in the morning I was out at the train derailment? What about after the tornadoes when I was going through neighborhoods with the power lines down? I didn't see you there. Okay? So I'm here every day. I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. Whether you agree with it or not. So please tell me again, what
How many times we got to
have I not done?
You work for the city and the people in Petal, and we are saying we don't want you here. We don't want
We tired of looking at your face.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say
Can
I'm
any one
not
of the aldermen
resigning, so
tell
we
me
can
how
move on
many,
that.
what our population is in Petal?
Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second, folks. We need a vote on item 4.
Okay, is there a vote on this item that doesn't even say what I did? But go ahead. All vote. All in favor.
You are killing the economy. People are not going to want to come to Petal. Do you know how many people think that this is the most racist town ever?
We have one more item on our agenda, folks. Let us please get to that, and then we'll get to our public comment time, where each of you guys will have a chance to come to the podium and speak.
All right. Request to adopt resolution concerning social media policy.
Motion for discussion.
Second on this. I know Rocky has taken a chance today to research some of the other social media policies from different municipalities around the area and some organizations. Craig, I think if you would change your motion there to table this one as well, that would give us a few days at least before our next meeting, and even if we want to research that further, to look into what the best social media strategy would be, so that we can make the right decision here, because, obviously ours now isn't doing a good job, so we'd like
Well,
to.
I'd also like to point out that elected officials aren't bound by any social media policy that's enacted by anybody else.
We didn't say this would be a law, maybe just an agreement.
Bound by the Constitution to allow access to a public forum.
I'll give you some messages that aren't so civil that I'm getting right now. And also against my family.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Against my family and people that aren't even involved in it. But I'm glad y'all stuck with me. I'm glad y'all stuck with me after all I've done for 11 years. That y'all headed to the hills to protect yourself. And I understand why a few of you did it, because there's other agendas. I don't understand why some people who know me best and know how I am wouldn't be willing to stand up and say, he might have said something the wrong way. He might should apologize for that. But he's not a bad person. He doesn't
But he didn't.
drag his blood or have people threaten his family over it.
Did you think about that?
Al, can you go ahead and get a vote on that last item?
All in favor?
All in favor for table.
All in favor?
I'll change my motion to table this to another day.
Second.
I want to make a statement.
Yes.
I'm going to apologize on behalf of the mayor for his.
Thank you
At least somebody got to say
He interviewed me yesterday, and he did not say sorry.
That's not how it works.
He's a grown man.
You should have stopped smoking when you saw the message. Why haven't you even seen it? It's too late.
Vote on number 5.
You already voted on 5. Okay, all right, well, there's a vote for 5.
Aye. All right, so, Hal, would you ask for a public comment at this time, please?
Yes, but I'm here to say this. We're going to limit it to our 3 minutes, or we'll be here all night. So anyway, okay. Yes.
I got a question. You say you're so quick not to rush the judgment. Well, how come? Let me ask this: what in that video caused you to rush the judgment and say that this man died of an overdose?
I didn't say he died of an
Yes,
overdose.
he probably had a heart attack or he was on drugs.
I was answering a question, and like I said, your better judgment would have been to just, I should have just ignored the question. I'd already said what I wanted to say. But I tried to give an explanation other than what was being said was the cause.
What you said, bro.
He most likely died of a heart attack or an overdose. Quote unquote. You judged him and then said, don't judge.
When your whole point is, I don't rush the judgment, and you go on Twitter and you say this man.
Just accept it.
Did you watch the video?
Yeah, I did.
You watched the entire video.
You watched 10 minutes.
Can we get on your net for 10 minutes?
Did you watch the entire video?
Yes, I did.
And after that video, you judged that this man probably died from a heart attack or an overdose.
Like I said, I was trying to answer the question and give some possibilities, and I should have just ignored that. And I was wrong to try to answer that.
What made you think that was a possibility?
So I guess the knee blended
The
in.
last 3 minutes.
The knee is
I got one more.
Show us how that works.
Look, this has become a national issue. And if
Petal is under fire.
Yeah, they come in here for us. Because of you.
Mississippi is already a joke to the rest of the country. If we allow this man to keep office after these comments that are being shared nationwide, we're just going to continue that stereotype in Mississippi. So I'm asking you, since for some reason nobody can get this man to step down legally, he's got to do it himself. I'm asking you, if you love the people of Petal like you say you do, if you work for them,
Do what we want.
step down, so we can move forward as a city.
I don't believe that giving in to a mob mentality.
We're voters, we're not a mob.
Well, the voters
We are
voted
the
me in
citizens
from
of
July
Petal,
1,
Mississippi.
2021.
And now we don't want you to
Well, it doesn't
resign.
work that way.
Well, you can resign and you are gone. Do it.
Well, I'm not. Go ahead.
So you're just in it for the money, that's it, just to take our taxpayer dollars, right? But you don't care about the city.
That's
Because
fine
you
on
thought
us.
about
We're
how
paying
this
for
was
you.
gonna
You're
affect
fining
the
us.
city.
Hold on one second, this gentleman.
You are fining us. We're paying for you.
Pull up on me. Hey,
Sir, did you say you lived in Oak Grove too?
I live in Oak Grove now. I came up in Hattiesburg. Ever since I was 15 years old, a lot of my friends and myself have been scared to come over to Petal.
Yes.
Ever since we was a young kid, we always knew never to get caught at night crossing that bridge. Now, I work all last year in Petal, and we still had the same feeling. And you know how many of my friends got pulled over the last 3 or 4 years over here in Petal? Things planted on them. Over here in Petal, I'm talking about business owners, business people, have nothing to do with drugs, anything, just stereotype, all because of what we drive and things like that. And if you the mayor, it should trigger down. Positivity should trigger all the way down to the police force, to the fire department, to everyone. And if you do anything with kids, if you do any kind of recreation, if you do I'm a youth football coach, you cannot stand up and teach a young kid how to do anything. If you don't have any kind of racism, you cannot do that. You got to have a pure heart. You got to have a pure heart. You know what I'm saying? So today, if you want to teach anything, you want to leave any legacy of saying I'm gonna be a better mayor. If you want to leave any legacy now, the best thing you do is step down and teach kids how to apologize and walk away from something.
speak?
I want to say something. First of all, I've been on this board since 2001. I have rode with every one of these police officers, and I do not believe that none of these guys ever planned on anything. Nobody's ever come to the alderman and talked to them. Nobody, if you got a complaint, you got to come to us. We don't know about it. But nobody's ever come to these guys right here. They put their lives on the line every day. They can pull up to somebody and they can.
But won't you, let me ask you this.
This ain't the time to talk
Go to the
about
jailhouse.
the police.
Ask some of the people y'all have locked up.
You know?
Ask some of the people y'all have locked up for no reason. Ask some of the ones who have sit there and got criminal
All they
charges.
have to do is
It's,
go
sir,
file a complaint.
it's not clean. We're not sitting there saying that the police, everybody on the police force is wrong. We're not saying that. But we're not saying everybody does everything right either. And it all starts with leadership.
Yes.
It's leadership. Leadership is everything.
Speak now, please.
You got Mark Davis.
You got to make a change. You got to make a change. If a bad one give a wrong name, you got to make a change. The only way to fix it is making a change. Go ahead, ma'am.
First of all, I want to say I live in Petal. I'm a tax-paying homeowner. I have 3 kids who go to school, 2 go to school in this school system. And I just want to say, I'm not talking to you because at the end of the day, we've heard everything that you have to say. So anything that you have to say at this point is beside the point. I'm speaking to all the other men and ladies. I'm not sure your role. Shame on me, but thank you. I'm speaking to y'all. I was taught to be the change that I want to see in the world. I'm only one voice. That's why y'all are sitting up here, because y'all represent us. And just like his experience, I'm from North Mississippi. When I moved down here, I was told not to come to Petal. But then I started hearing about the school system after I started having my children. And I just wanted to give it a try because I want them to have the top education that I can provide for them. So I moved here, and I love it here. I do. And I was surprised at how much I liked it, given what I had heard about this city. And it's because there are a lot of people here who are not like that person sitting there.
Thank you.
Okay? And they showed me that. It's y'all's responsibility. If y'all want to adhere to the adage of being the change that you want to see, that is y'all's responsibility. And that's what we are asking. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be an ask for very long. And I'm not saying that as any type of prayer. I'm just telling you that the tide is changing. And it hasn't been the culture of this city since I moved. The culture of this city has been better together. That's what I see. And I feel like it is y'all's responsibility to reprimand someone like that, who's a detriment to the culture that y'all are trying to move forward with. And so I challenge y'all to be the change, unless you believe what he believes.
Good evening, Mayor, Alderman. My name is Josh. I work in the city of Hattiesburg. I live in the city of Petal. Other than my time when I was overseas, deployed to Iraq and several other countries as a Marine Corps combat veteran, I've lived in Petal all of my life. And never have I had a leader stand in front of me and say the things that you have said to the city, to people all over the world, with no sense of humanitarianism at all. I mean, I understand that you want to protect police because we're not here to hate police.
We love our officers.
But I will tell you that in a leadership position, as a public servant, you can say what you want, but if you say something that doesn't represent us, there are repercussions for that.
Yes.
We are taxpayers, and we don't agree with what you said. We don't agree with how you represent our city, and like it's been said before, that's going to bring a whole lot more detriment to our city than whatever lawsuit you're going to try to bring this way.
Amen.
Okay? And there's all sorts of ways we can raise money over the internet. We'll fight you on this. We're taxpayers and we want you to resign.
We will win.
Give us your resignation because we're not leaving until you do. Thank you.
Come on, girl.
Hi, I'm Mila. I'm 17 and I'm an Ivy League student. I grew up here. I'm still very young. I might not be a taxpayer, but my parents are. And I had a good life here. I've had some encounters, but I moved to Rhode Island to go to school, and as soon as I stepped on campus, I automatically had a stigma because I was from Mississippi. Everybody looked down on me. Everybody saw the type of people that ran my city, specifically you. People did a lot of research, and they saw your social media, and they saw what you said, and what you openly didn't apologize for. I had to work my way up my freshman year from people looking down on me to somebody that somebody could truly respect. I've worked my whole life, I'm very intelligent, and for people to already have this kind of stigma because of words that you said that didn't at all regress to my opinion, it infuriated me. For you to come here today and say that we are bullies, and you to not hold accountability for your actions and your statements that we clearly do not agree with, already shows what type of person you are.
Right.
You are saying to us now that we don't know what type of person you are, and you've proved to certain individuals that you are somebody that can lead Petal. You not taking responsibilities for things that you have openly said in the past and in the few couple of days shows who you are, and we do not want you leading.
Step down now,
I
Bill.
need you to understand that you say that the people of Petal employ you and you follow us. We clearly do not want you here. There's going to be some type of action, whether you like it or not, to get you to step down. It will be a lot easier for you to take into account what we're saying.
Step down now, Bill.
You need to listen. You need to listen to your city, your citizens, your taxpayers, the people that live here, the people that support our city. I've never been so angry in my entire life. I shake when I enter this building. You infuriate me. I need you guys to understand that there are so many people. There are children, there are adults, there are the elderly. And you don't. You can tell when somebody truly wants to apologize for their actions. And they care about what they said and they think what they said in the past was wrong. We can tell physically by you sitting right here that you show no remorse. And that infuriates me more. I literally shake. My whole being shakes, staring you in the face.
You don't deserve your position.
Step down now.
I had to work so hard to represent Mississippi as a whole at an Ivy League. Do you know how they look down on states like us? You are the type of people that make it so much harder for minorities to succeed.
Yeah. Yeah. Step down.
I can't even look at you any longer, but I need you to understand. Your time is coming.
Soon.
Your time is coming very soon. And it will be a lot easier for you now to just step down.
Get down, Bill.
I asked you earlier if you watched the full 10-minute video. And I feel like people are really misinterpreting why this is so important and why this conversation needs to be had with every single person that has some sense of power. A man was murdered for 7 to 8 minutes and sat there lifeless under another man's knee. I don't care where you come from. With handcuffs, with 3 men holding him down. I asked if you watched the 10-minute video because that would tell me a lot about your opinion to still make a post like that. If there is one police officer, because I'm one to say that I respect police, but I've also been put in situations where I've been left to not have trust for them. I've been demeaned by police officers. If there is one police officer that is not the right person for the job, if there is one police officer that has a moment where he could kill somebody, you have let him know that it is okay. You let him know it's okay. You let him know he's gotta protect you. You gotta go. I don't even say nothing else, but you gotta go. You shameful. You get out now. Your whole family should be ashamed of you.
They are.
They should be ashamed of you. Long time.
Yeah. Good evening. All the aldermen in this building have seen me here before, and you personally know me. I'm a realtor. I sell dreams to people. I tell them how beautiful Petal is. I sold a home to some Asian people from New Orleans that just moved here because of our school district. Do you know how this is going to impact our economy?
You done messed it up, man.
Do you know how many more people are going to be rushing to buy homes here? Do you care?
Step down, man. Get up.
I mean, this is not just your pocket. This is all of us. Petal.
You gotta go. Get out.
I'm sorry. You did this to yourself.
Be sorry. Be sorry.
You did this to yourself. I tell my 2-year-old, my 4-year-old, every action, it has a reaction. All these Facebook, Twitter, all these comments, you have belittled so many people.
Yes.
It was going to bite you in the tail. This man lost his life. You have a son that just graduated. With my son also. Have you sat and thought how that family feels? Now Petal is being seen nationally. How are we going to get anybody to invest in us? You are the face of us. If you care about Petal, you sat here how many years? I mean, your pockets should be full. You talk about our tax dollars all the time. I've seen you pay your kids baseball with our tax money. Yes, other agendas.
My kids don't play baseball.
I don't know, was it archery or something that we paid for? I seen it on there.
I use tax money to that?
You asked everybody if we would donate $100 to it. We should, and I think they said yes. That was months back, but anyway, I'll give you that money. But the fact of the matter is that we are a growing city, and right now, nobody is going to come over here. I had a contract fall through because they don't want to live in a town where this is the stigma.
Step down now.
Please consider the fact that you have a year. In that year, you will ruin the city of Petal. Nobody is going to invest in us.
That's going to be his legacy, Kim. Yeah, that's right. That's his legacy.
Pretty much just to reiterate what she just said, that's what I was pretty much going to say.
the microphone, please.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Anyways, so basically, like, with everything everybody else was saying, that's what this is. Great officers, yeah, we do have them.
Yep.
You're making them look like something else. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. For over the 20-something years that most of us has lived here, you know, there's been people that put their lives on live every day, to make us a name for who we are. Yeah, we are different than the rest of the world is. Yes.
Amen.
Very much different. Because you know what? Yeah, I've dealt with having blacks in my family, having a racial thing towards me, but it had nothing to do with police. You know? So why would I ever fear anything like that? But you know what? No matter how good they make it look, over 20-something years that they built that, you just ruined it in over 48 hours. In less than 48 hours, you just came in and destroyed us like a hurricane.
Get down.
And if you don't even want to have integrity like a grown man should, to just do the damn right thing.
Get down. Be small. Get down.
Just like anybody else would. Because if anybody else would be caught just like you was, because it's all over the news. Stop denying it. Stop asking what it is that you said or what it is that you did. Because I guarantee you, there ain't none of y'all seen one of y'all's meetings packed like this.
Breathe, man.
Until now.
Can you breathe?
I can
And
breathe,
tomorrow,
baby.
there's going to be more people here.
Yeah,
And how is
because
that
y'all
going
can
to
keep on
affect
recording this and we're going to keep on showing up. until you don't. 12 months, you can keep doing it, but guess what? You ain't gonna have none of our support. And when you leave, bye, please leave.
I just want to speak for a moment about the PR aspect of this. Like everyone keeps saying, just in the past 24 hours, me personally, I know I'm not the only one, I've received messages from people all over the place that are planning to come here to protest. The problem is, protesting's fine, the problem is that they're coming with the assumption that our police department is of the same mindset as you. And they have this automatic feeling like they need to protest our police officers, which is not fair. And I'm just concerned because once that starts to happen, you're talking about viral. You want to really go there? Like, you can step down and do the right thing. Positive PR, make your city look a little bit better.
That's what we really are.
But the other option is you've got 3 days of protests coming. And these people genuinely think that our law enforcement officers are of the same mindset as you. And unfortunately,
Putting them in danger.
we don't know what to do because look, we didn't have a shooting here. No one here, none of our officers have done these things, thankfully. You just had the nerve to talk about it and make it look like we would be that type of city. So our law enforcement officers are at stake here. Their reputation is on the line. They shouldn't have to put up with this either. If you care about law enforcement like you keep saying you do, step down. Allow them to salvage their reputation and don't throw even more hate towards them with the protests that are coming because of this. Because the protest is to protest you. It shouldn't be about them.
Let them come for you, not them.
You protest your business.
Roll down, man.
Drag Petal through the mud.
My name is Matt Lawrence. I'm an attorney. I went to high school in Petal for a little while. I live in Hattiesburg now. My daughter just graduated from Petal High School. Headed for Ole Miss. And I was contacted by the people who are planning the protest for tomorrow, and I just want to say that I believe it was a little bit of a misrepresentation to say that they automatically assume that there's going to be some sort of conflict, because from my understanding, they desperately want things to stay peaceful, and we are going to do our best to stay peaceful during whatever happens. And I just want y'all to know that this man has been abusive to so many people. This man has violated the First Amendment of the Constitution every single time he blocks somebody for disagreeing with him, which you do all the time.
I'm blocked. I'm blocked.
Get down, man.
And you want to talk about the Constitution, Counselor? Why is it that the people of the city of Petal have no avenue to express their First Amendment right that has been defined by the Supreme Court to vote this guy out of office?
You don't have it here, man. Step down.
And that's, I also would like to say that the people expressed to me that they would like all videos and internal documents of what happened to Mark Davis about 3 years ago to be released immediately.
Right now. Right now.
Thank you.
And yes, I agree. They're not coming here to be, like he was saying, these protesters are peaceful, but there's a bad stigma.
You just like a mean stepdaddy, man. We want you to leave.
There's a bad stigma right now for a law.
We're trying to divorce these.
Yeah. Look, everybody, he's winking towards me. I'm Petal's biggest seeker. You want to see what happened in my head when this officer and other officers were standing around, helped me out on a police car, and one officer, he was looking at my tattoo. The other officer told me he was going to put mix in me. They have harassed me. This other officer put his hands on me in my own house. And the other officer was standing out there that said he was going to F me up, pardon my French. Y'all think y'all can get away with what y'all do to people? Y'all been hiding me for 10 months. 10 months. Denying. Guess what? They've been saying, cops have been lying, saying my brother did this to my hand. Guess what? I have a brother in prison. I have a brother in Louisiana. And my other brother was in the courtroom at the same time. Where these officers keep saying, I said this isn't allowed in the courtroom. Okay? Thing is, point made is, guess what? If I'd have said that, wouldn't he been arrested on the spot? You want to see how far I can open up my hand? Y'all have been doing this and harassing Jeremy Brown and D. Williams. You want to see how far I can open up my hand? Y'all have been, because of police officers' lies and everything, y'all have denied me medical attention. This ain't right. That's as far as I can open my hand. They have come to my house and harassed me. Harassed my witnesses. everybody that was standing out there. Yes, my sister admitted, Mayor Hal Marks, that y'all set me up that day. And I'm not letting it go.
Step down, Mr. Mayor. Get
If
down
you want to see
now.
resignation, I already posted to the Fox News Network and everything. So y'all need to get some real life.
Get on down.
Especially Jeff Brown, D. Williams, and all the officers that
You
do
better
help
say
me
it.
up to my house. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Y'all have to excuse me, I don't have a straight thought right now. But, I know that if you ask any one of us that what will happen if we say something that embarrasses our employers, what will happen to us if we do that?
Yeah, we get fired.
Any single one of us get fired.
Yeah.
If a teacher
You lose your job.
has a can of beer in South Mississippi, they're gone. If I said anything like the type of thing you said on Facebook and Twitter, I'll get fired immediately. Plus, you said, you know, you're a nice guy. I've seen you bully people on social media constantly. Blocking people, there's a degree of responsibility that you need to take to your constituents. When you say that you think this guy can breathe because he can speak, and when you say that he died of an overdose, or when you say that the thoughtless progressives are angry because of what you said, and you call someone like me, who lives here for 30 years, that we're thoughtless because we're upset, you have to take responsibility, just like any one of us would take. So please, for what's good for everyone, step down. Please don't be.
He's rolling his eyes.
Step down now, Mayor.
No care.
Get on down. You don't care.
And that's how you think of us. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
All right.
We hate you, dude.
Get on down.
Miss Ada said, send your message. She said you gotta go. She couldn't make it today, but she did send a message. She said you gotta go. How? I mean, you know us. We're not a big town. Please,
Step down.
step down. Do the right thing. I mean, you have all of us in this town with an E on our name. Go home, think about that. I know you. A lot of us know you. I know your wife is sick. I'm sorry. But you really have to think about the rest of us whenever you don't want to step down. Go home and pray about it. If that's what you gotta do it. But think about Petal residents. We have to live with what you said. We have awesome officers. Our schools are great.
Yes. Yes.
Teachers, our neighbors, we'll do anything for each other.
Yes.
But then we have you as our face.
That's a blemish.
Please think about us.
Step down here. Step down here. Down here.
Step down now.
I also want to say that, you know, even though I live in Hattiesburg now, you know, I do property development, and we remodel houses, flip houses. We finished a house not too far from here, but about 2 years ago we was looking at doing a house just right on South George, and when I got with my realtor, Hope City realtor, one of the biggest factors of doing that property was the police department was close by. It was supposed to be trustworthy. It had a park. So the look into the city of Petal and want to develop things and want to represent, even though I stay out there in Oak Grove, the thing is this. We trying to bring cities together. We want to connect Oak Grove with Hattiesburg to Petal without having any animosity, without having any hatred, without anyone walking up out here and saying, oh, my mayor is right, or my mayor is wrong. You know what you did wrong. Just be accountable for it. Just all you have to do, man up. And you put on there, you said, oh, my kid, my family. You talked about your family. You said, don't bring my family into it. We have to understand something. You the male, you the alpha male. The alpha male of anything. Of a wolf pack, the alpha male is the leader. So anything comes behind, anything attached that African American supposed to protect. Your job is to protect your family. And right now, the biggest thing you can do is to show heart and step down. Show your family, show your wife, your kids, step down that you represent as a man. You represent.
George Floyd had a family too.
I think, if I want to set an example for my kids, my sons, I don't step down from a job because of something that people think that I should step down for. If I don't think I
Okay,
need
this
to take
isn't about you. This is our fucking meeting.
So I'm not going to. I mean, I'm not going to talk that way. And you're in here, okay? You don't use profanity.
Yes, thank me.
No, ma'am, I'm going to have that police officer remove you.
Okay, well, for all of y'all that don't know, there is a protest tomorrow at noon in front of City Hall, Aldermen. I hope to see y'all there. You seem like decent people. And just to reiterate, you're just an embarrassment. Look at me when I'm fucking talking to you, dude.
Hey!
One more time.
Don't yell at her.
We're not
Don't you yell at her.
Alright, anyway, you stop it. I'm okay with this one. I look a mess right now, but I was watching this on Facebook Live. I was cleaning my car. I was like, I gotta come down here and say something. I'm 21. I'm not really shaking right now. I'm raising a 3-year-old child, and I'm so afraid to raise him here because of what you said. You basically said that it was unreasonable for us to assume that he died because his knee was in his neck. So that's basically you're saying you don't care about us. If my son was in that same predicament, I don't know what I would do. And he's only 3 years old. I don't know.
Your comments have impact.
Step down, Mayor.
And by you saying that, it's such an embarrassment because I have people texting me saying, look at your baby on Facebook, on Twitter. I'm like, I was planning on raising my family here. I've been here my whole life, 21 years. My dad raised us here, great school system, everything. But your comment that you said is basically like, you don't care about us. If my son was sitting right here and he got pulled over and a cop put a knee in his neck for no reason, you would say, wait till you get the facts. He didn't die because of that. He died because of a heart attack. How many people do you know die of a heart attack when somebody's knee is on their carotid artery? How many people do you know? No, it's not. A heart attack is when the blood clot gets into your heart and it stops. So, how many people do you know? Ma'am, you need to hush. Because I heard your comments when this other girl was up here talking. You was up here acting like you couldn't breathe. Like, step down, do something else. Because every time I see an election come up, you get elected. I haven't been old enough to vote yet, but I am now. So, I grew up playing basketball and softball here since I was little. I never thought about moving out of Petal until now. I don't even think I want to raise my child here. Every time I look at something about Mississippi, it's still 1963. It's still racist. It's still racist.
Haley, hang with us.
I'm trying. You went to school with my sister, and I know you. That's how I remember you. But
We see you. Listen, we see you. And there's enough of us.
he did.
There's enough of us that when our kids grow up, and our kids are, I have a 3-year-old as well, a 4-year-old as well. When our kids get to the age that they can drive, because of strong people like you, because of strong people like these others out here, our children won't live in that fear.
I hope not, because I don't want to teach my child that first thing he needs to do is hold his hands up when he gets pulled over. Make sure you have everything visible so he doesn't think you're trying to reach for a gun or a weapon to assault him with. I don't want to raise my child to think like that. I want to raise my child to think, let's go to Disney World every summer. Let's go to the beach every summer. I don't want him to sit up here and think, if I get pulled over, I might not make it home. I don't want him to live in that fear because I already live in that fear myself. And your comment was so, you can roll your eyes all you want to. I don't care. I have a 3-year-old. I know what rolling your eyes look like.
No, ma'am, I'm not rolling my eyes. I have to blink that way my eyes get dry.
Okay, look, I got glasses. I blink too. That's why they made teardrops.
Well, I'm just telling you that. I'm sorry that you don't believe me. That's what's happening.
I don't believe it because the comments you made was very outrageous. And you sitting up here saying, oh, I'm sorry, I should have said it this way. You shouldn't have made a comment at all. You being a public figure, you shouldn't have made it at all. Because you gotta sit here and think about everybody. Just like when I go out, I can't sit up here and wow out because I have a child to think of. What if this get back to my child? How would this affect my child? How would this look on my child? You need to think about that when you're running a city, a whole city. Like, it's not just me in this city, it's everybody in this room and in this city. You're not thinking about. And I'm thinking about one person, about how it's going to look at a video of me get out doing something I'm not supposed to be doing. I get kicked out of nursing school right now.
But you can sit here and be mayor still.
Yeah. Exactly.
And whatever you want on social
Exactly.
media.
And something can be taken out of context, something that I wasn't even a part of. I could be kicked out of doing something that I'm meant to do, to be a nurse, to be sitting up here saving lives. You don't have nothing to say?
Ma'am, I tried to say something earlier and people wouldn't listen to me. So
Say.
Where are you wrong?
Y'all say.
Say, talking about the comments you made, how we took it out of context.
I've already said what I can say, so go ahead.
Then you don't have nothing to
But you
say.
have
You
yet
just
to
said
apologize. You have yet to
I've
put
said what I
that.
can say.
How about you apologize and let the whole nation see that, an apology?
Because you made it to BET if you didn't know.
It won't even justify it. You apology won't even help.
You're very viral. I'm surprised you haven't made it to the shade room yet. And when people look up Petal, they gonna see the comments you made about Petal. They gonna be never come to Petal because when I used to have friends coming to see me at my house, I live in Sunrise. They were like, "Oh, I'm leaving before it get dark." Because I don't want to be here when it gets dark because we know what happens when it gets dark in Petal. And I'm always like, no, like, it's not like that. Like, people aren't like that. And it took me growing up and seeing everything that's going on to realize Petal is like that. Petal has been like that for years, before I was even put here. And it hasn't changed, not one bit.
We were working on it.
We were working on it,
but now, my son is headed to New York to college. He will be known as the kid from Petal. Oh, where that mayor talked all this nonsense? Yep. I mean, you have no consideration about any of us. And we are the city of Petal, not you. We're just paying you to, work there. Yeah, but, I mean, it's over. It's done. You really messed it up for yourself. So, please, again, I don't know how many times else I'm saying it and how many other people are saying, resign. Please, just make it easier on the citizens of Petal. I mean, if you don't want people walking up in here tomorrow.
So just here to listen to y'all. Go ahead, I'm not going to resign.
Okay, so tomorrow when everything flips up and our officers are put in danger because you don't want to resign? I mean, we are overrun by people.
If our officers are put in danger, it'll be because of people who come here to protest.
Why are they here? They're here because of you.
They can be peaceful.
They are here because of you.
Be peaceful.
It's your fault.
This is trying peace right here.
We are trying to make this the most peaceful thing ever. Just walk away. Don't put them in that predicament. Don't put us in that predicament. I gotta go to Walmart tomorrow. Do you think I want to take my 5-year-old to Walmart with 30,000 people here from I don't know where? Don't know what they're gonna do? This is what you're bringing to Petal. Stand down. That's all we want. For you to really think about how it's going to affect each and every one of us.
It's already
that live
in California and all the states. People are protesting.
Business and everything.
Dangerous.
I drive from Hattiesburg just to go eat at Robin Walk. I come to Hattiesburg to gas.
So let me ask y'all this. Let me just ask y'all this. All right. If what the purpose of trying to heal is to, it's supposed to be about, understanding, hearing each other's sides, coming together, learning from each other. But y'all are saying basically if that group that's coming in doesn't get their way, they're willing to be violent. Well then, you know what? You're saying to pray. My point is this. I will never surrender to the mob mentality. Okay?
It's not a mob mentality. We want to protect ourselves. No. Your comments are similar to how comments are. No. You're making his points all right. And it's the same thing. You're talking, you are the mom.
Let's finish if I could real quick. I think it's,
Not over.
It's not over. It's just started. So tomorrow we have to deal with everybody.
Let him talk. Let him do his job.
You know, the alderman called this meeting because we felt in our hearts, in our minds, that Mayor Hal Marks, as we said in our statement, was no longer fit to lead our city. Let me finish, please. Thank you, but let me finish. If anything at all has happened here tonight, I think it has shown that. I think we're digressing as we continue to have these public comments. I want to hear each and every one of you, I do. But I think as we continue to go down this route, the things that Mayor Marks is going to continue to say, even in this meeting, is just only going to make matters worse. So at this time, I do apologize to everybody who has not had a chance to speak yet that wants to. I will stick around outside as long as you want and to hear you. But at this time, I'd make a motion that we move to end this meeting.
Can we go on public record and say that these protesters are not violent people? They're not trying to instigate violence. So
They don't have any guns. We saw what people do when they have guns. Should they bring them? That seems to keep you safe.
I was not insinuating.
Why is it going to be violent?
To what y'all were saying about being afraid.
They don't have weapons.
And I'm saying if you're afraid, yeah, I was talking about the people that are you worried about
We
coming
are
here.
the people, sir.
Well,
unarmed. They're unarmed. Why are they attacking?
Not your town, it's ours.
Our town. They are the people from Petal, sir.
Right.
They're
There was
not
a motion.
mobs.
There's a
They're the people that pay you your salary, sir.
Craig got a second, and I would just say I would second what Alderman Sterner said about our police force. I would also ask, this is what I would presume is a Christian community. I know I am. And that you would pray for our city right now?
How are we going to organize tomorrow? What do we do?
I think there's a way forward. I think our police officers are trained. They're professional.
Well, we can
They-
say the last thing
they're-
we
they're
want is to put
accountable.
them in any
And that's what I would pray, that our whole city would be safe during this time, and ask that everything would be peaceful. We respect the right to protest peacefully, and we hope that's what plays out.
Get off your phone, dude.
Yeah, that's your problem. That is your problem.
You're telling other people to respect you, man. Come on.
No, my phone. Listen, I've sat here and listened to everybody's comments and tried to be very respectful of what you're saying. As a matter of fact, I don't know a lot of people that including these people on this board here, that can sit here and take what I've sat here and take it tonight. So I've tried to be respectful. I've listened to everything you said. I've tried to explain to you my point of view, but you didn't want to listen. So we had a motion and a second to adjourn. Is there all in favor? All right, this meeting's adjourned. Thank y'all.
Anybody who has questions about how we organize tomorrow, y'all can meet us out here on the steps right now. Your time is up.